All right. It says we're live.
We are live. Oh, wow. There we go. Okay, we got three folks tuned in. So,
yeah, well, welcome everyone. We're going to give it a few minutes to grow a little bit, but if not, we'll let it rip in like 5 minutes.
beauty. See my new logo?
I did. Yeah. It was actually, did you make that yourself?
No, it's the guy who runs merch at Eastward Ho made it.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He's
JD
great.
Patrick. Yeah. I think I
JD
got in a fight
Patrick.
with him by accident.
Did you really? What
Yeah.
about?
I don't remember exactly what he said, but I was just like, your opinion's invalid because you sell hats that say the hoe. And he was like, he's like, that's a valued piece or something. Like he was talking about some sort of like high-end piece of clothing. I'm like, dude, you gotta stop. You gotta have a little bit of self-awareness. It was so funny. Yeah, I'll have to find that interaction, but he seems like a nice guy. He
seems great.
He's really good at like merchandising his shop. Like,
absolutely.
The stuff he posts on his Twitter about like putting out the H&B the right way and everything is like, there's a whole layer to that kind of thing that is under indexed in my view.
Yeah, absolutely. Some do it better than others.
That's right. We are keeping the eps on our channel after the show ends, so these will be kind of permanent podcast episodes. So
evergreen content, baby.
Yeah. Yep, just like the traditions of golf. This will never go out of style.
Exactly. I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's good. Double entendre.
Exactly. I wonder, I'm going to check my, see if people can hear us.
Well, people are commenting. Can you see the comments or no?
How do I see the comments?
You click comments there we go. On the right side. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's
boys.
cool.
You got all the boys in here.
Oh, let's go. Hell yeah. I wonder how many burners are going to be making specific emails for this.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, YouTube should cut us a check.
Is Smith Surfboards, is that Lefty? I feel like that might be.
Yeah, that's Lefty Zag, dude. He's a fascinating dude.
There we go. How does my mic sound, by the way? I got this fancy new podcast mic off. Just came in from Amazon today.
It's good. Yeah, crystal clear.
I guess Rev could hear you typing.
Me? Was I typing?
Yeah. Were you typing?
I was not typing. No, I wasn't typing.
What? Are you serious?
No.
I was not typing either.
Oh, I was typing. I was texting.
It's like, what?
Yeah. Shout out to my wife for listening. She's like, we can hear. I just had to text her back. Sorry.
I think my fiance is tuned in as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she's got on the big screen.
Yeah. I was talking to a guy today. And I was just telling him a little bit about the newsletter. And he was a successful business guy. So he was asking about it. And he was like, so what's the female readership like? And I'm like, I think it's 99.999%
yes
guys.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's and that's the audience. That's who I know how to talk to. It's like, it's not really written for anyone else. So pretty funny stuff.
Yeah. I guess, can you see all that with your Beehive?
Yeah, the analytics are pretty in depth. I ran like the year-end survey to get some feedback on like what people want.
Got it.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Got it.
All right, should we kick it off?
Let's do it. You wanna get us started?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, this is kind of the next evolution of the spaces that UES and I started about a month ago now. We honestly met on the internet, did not know each other before this, but kind of made quick friends in the DMs, realized that we both have a passion for golf and kind of the etiquette and traditions that go along with the game. The reason I started my Twitter account is because I didn't think that any content was served towards the guys like me that just like to play golf casually, like to compete every now and again, grew up with the traditions and etiquette of the game. And that's what we want to see and what we want to kind of read about. So that started the Twitter account, which started to grow a little bit. The newsletter came after that. And now, UES and I have linked up to start kind of a long form audio podcast type of deal. Go ahead, US. You want to kick in there with your background,
I think,
and we'll go from there.
Well, I think at the end of the day, we both just realized that there's just not enough golf content out there. There's certainly not enough golf podcasts out there. So no, I guess just on me, if you're not familiar with my account, or if you are on Twitter, I'm Reset Golf. I guess I'm new to the game, despite the fact that I grew up in a family full of golfers, and both my dad and stepdad belong to nice private clubs and where we grew up. And my dad actually worked in the golf business for a long time, but it never was something it stuck with me. When I was younger, I think I had a year in high school where I sort of got into it for a year. But honestly, there's a level of I think the sport itself being as challenging as it is, and some of the perceived stuffiness of private clubs. Candidly, when I was young, I just was like, oh, this is not my thing. I actually was pretty I'm a stubborn human being in general. And when I, had decided that for myself, that I wasn't a golfer and I didn't like golf, I didn't like clubs. And I was like, okay, well, that's my identity now, or that's part of my identity. And then, moving into New York in my early 20s and being here for almost a decade, have realized that golf, certainly the past 2 years, realized that golf was a way to stay connected with my friends who were getting married, starting to have kids, and being able to carve out 4 or 5 hours of a Saturday to, spend time outside together and compete was a really valuable thing. And then being competitive and a little bit of obsessive and having addictive personality, got completely hooked. I posted about it, but I went from a 21 handicap in September last year to about a 6.6, and over the summer I've gone back up. But at the end of the day, I love golf. I love playing it. I love practicing it. I love talking about it. I love learning about it. And I think in terms of what we're trying to do here and what we're talking about here, I think some of the feedback that certainly folks on X, whether it's the Burnerverse or otherwise, and that we get from folks on golf Twitter broadly, or golf media or independent golf media, is a little bit, maybe negative or saying, oh, you elitists, whatever, assholes. I think I'm a firm believer in the idea that the game should be expanded. I think that and grow. I think the challenge is how are you doing that? Golf is an individually competitive sport at most levels. But at its core, it's a communal experience, and we're sharing the golf course with other people, whether that's in our group or that's other people behind us or the people that run the course. And I think how you act and how you treat the golf course and how you treat the other people around you, I think impacts not just yourself. So despite what we might think about, why are people so sanctimonious? Why do you care so much about this stuff? It does make a difference. And I think sometimes, we get into this conversation around, whatever, class related conversations, whatever. And I think, at the end of the day, I played probably more municipal golf than 99% of people, either on Twitter or otherwise the past year. And some of the best experience I've had are playing with guys who are literally like construction workers at Pelham Bays in the Bronx. So, I think at the end of the day, golf in America in particular is a luxury good. It's to play it is a cost. The cost is higher than ever. And most of the affordable options are deeply inaccessible due to the high demand and low supply. So I think what we're trying to illuminate is that, there is a kind of a path to the private club world that I think seems pretty inaccessible. And it's somewhat designed for that. But I think if you're someone who is trying to aspiring to okay, how do I break into that world? How do I understand what is, the best way to get into that sphere? I think we're trying to shed some light on that, because me personally, that's what I'm currently trying to do. And I think I think BTG has a good perspective on that as well.
Yeah, I again, as someone that grew up playing at places where etiquette and manners and attire like mattered, it was just deeply ingrained in me at a young age. Like that stuff matters. You tuck your shirt in, you wear a polo. That was just table stakes, day one stuff for me as a kid growing up. So I think once I started to pay attention more about like the kind of the trajectory that golf's taking, people learning it via Instagram and TikTok and not, having it passed down from, father to son, that has kind of changed the trajectory of the game. And then I just started honestly talking to myself on Twitter to see if anyone kind of shared the same views that like, hey, maybe there's a little, maybe the game's due for a little bit of correction, back towards the traditions that matter. And that's kind of what the account is about. And it's really, people ask me like, is it like, how much of it is a bit versus real? And it's like 95% real. Like, I don't think that any of my opinions are outrageous. I think they're all grounded in sound, facts, and it's true to me. It comes off as authentic because it is authentic. It's, I believe all of it. So I'm glad that a lot of other people on the internet shared those opinions, and now we're here.
Hell yeah. Well, we're actually right on time, so that's good.
That was good.
Yeah. So we've got kind of like a, similar to how we run the space, we got kind of a laundry list of topics we're going to go through. And I think actually on the subject of quarter zips and polos, I know you had pointed out, I think I saw it on Twitter as well. There was some chatter about this $835 quarter zip that Melbourne Golf released. That is, yeah.
Arnie McNair tweeted it out, and I would say I don't have my finger on the pulse. I don't have my notifications on for Malbon Golf, so a lot of the stuff I see is like actually from other burners, like bringing it to my attention. And Arnie was like, "This Stephen Malbon is a threat to American democracy," which is a very funny tweet. And he's not entirely wrong. I mean, I think some of the sticker value, like the shock value of the 8, it was a collaboration with Johnson's of Elgin, which is like a very high end cashmere brand based in like Scotland or something. But on a larger scale, it kind of is just a continuation of golf, pushing towards the streetwear, pushing more into, it's not golf attire, it's golf adjacent attire that you can also wear on the golf course. Like, and how the game's culture is diluting a little bit with brands like that. Would love to hear your take on it. I don't think anyone should spend $800 on any article of clothing.
Well, it's interesting.
Like that, so
it's interesting because like it is a pretty plain sweater. Like the sweater itself is pretty unoffensive. It's literally just a black quarter zip with a big M on it. So like that article of clothing itself isn't that offensive, and I think but Malbon stuff is kind of like, you saw the video, like Jason Day almost got, he got like reprimanded by Augusta for
they're genius.
Wearing.
I mean, they're genius marketers.
Great marketing.
Genius.
And I think the price point. I mean, listen, like I was just doing some looking around. I mean, there are Peter Millar sweaters are $700. There's Helder Saborn sweaters are $600. There's Laura Piana starts at $1,000. So there is a price above it. And I imagine, I actually didn't check Sid Mashburn, but I imagine Sid Mashburn gets up there. I think, it's for me, the business of golf that I've learned more about in the past few months than I ever, cared or knew about before. The Malbon itself, it's sort of like it's a cross between a golf lifestyle brand, streetwear brand. You just raised a bunch of money from, venture capital / private equity funds. And it's funny, like the times I most see it, that kind of stuff is like, I'll play at Pelham Bay or Van Cortlandt rather. I actually remember I went to Van Cortlandt. I play a lot of early morning golf in NYC munis, and I played at Van Cortlandt, and I was like early morning tee time where I was literally in just like whatever pants and a kind of a H&B hoodie or whatever, and just trying to stay warm with a beanie on. And these guys rolled up in like decked to the nines and all this kind of Malbon-y, some of it might have been consignment stuff. I mean, not my style, But
Yeah.
it is fun. It's kind of a funny cottage industry that's emerged. I'd say actually they do a lot of like brand collabs, which is sort of interesting. Like, you know, and they partnered with FootJoy. They partnered with New Balance, Grateful Dead, who seemingly everyone seems to partner with now to do that, like Dancing Bear logo. I think the one like positive or like thing I agree with that they seem to be doing is they use a lot of actually natural fabrics, or they don't use, it's not just all polyester blends, which I appreciate. And I know actually that our friend McNair who posted about it, he's also launching a shirt. So I mean, it's not my style. I think it's like, I think if you wore it certain places, you'd look like a complete goofball. But you know, it's kind of funny how much it's like, you know, it's like watching some guys are trying to do this whole, you know, look like Ben Hogan in whatever 1958 or in the 60s. And, you know, I get it. That's old school. It's kind of funky. It's you know, kind of.
So who do you think is Malbon's like core customer?
I think it's folks who are like I think honestly it's people who live in LA, or I think it's like I think it's coastal elite vibe for sure. But more
like West
coastal,
Coast. I think it's West Coast. I don't think it's East
urban
Coast.
Coastal elite for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, Melbourne, the whole Australian thing is very, you know, Australia. I've spent a lot of time with Australians randomly. It's very similar culturally to LA. Everyone's up in the early in the morning. They all work out a ton. You know, they like being outdoors. They're kind of like edgy from a fashion perspective. Like I imagine if you went to Melbourne and you went to a concert in Melbourne, people would be wearing the same shit that people are wearing at a concert in you know, Santa Monica or, you know, somewhere like that. So I totally see that crossover. I think I would bet if you went to some like courses in the West Coast, you'd see a lot more of it than you see here.
I think I'd agree with that. Yeah. You know, I went out to Pebble 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And even the pro shop at Pebble Beach is a lot of blacks, a lot of tans, and a lot of like off maroons. Like the color story there is very different than the color story you'd find at like a New England private club. It was fascinating.
I kind of like a Tanimal vibe though, to be honest. I like a Tanimal.
It's just very like crunchy West Coast.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, it was very eye-opening to see the pro shop, and like, you know, it's well assorted and they know who their customer is out there. But it was interesting to see.
I will say, I find Melbourne, like in and of itself, way less offensive than I find to the eyes, at least, in my personal tastes, than like like those really crazy bespeckled good, bad birdie, breezy golf, primo stuff, like the mock neck stuff that Grant Horvat wears in his videos. I cannot stand those shirts. They look
unless you're Tiger Woods, you cannot be wearing a mock neck. We'll put an end to that right now. You have to be Tiger Woods.
Keith Mitchell is the standard bearer.
Keith Mitchell is the best dressed guy on tour by a mile. I don't think it's even close. I think Smiley Kaufman, when he played, he dressed well as well. He has that like Southern frat boy vibe. But Keith Mitchell, you know, the Georgia boy, he's taken that and he's run with it. And he also leans into it too, which I love.
Well, one article of clothing that seems to span Melbourne and kind of more traditional, kind of, to your point, Northeast coastal folks is the visor, tour visor. The Melbourne guys love a tour visor.
Yeah, my head's too small to wear a visor, which sucks. It's the one thing I'd change is like make my head like bigger so I could wear a visor. It sucks. It's like the one thing I wish I could wear. I just can't. I look patently ridiculous wearing a tour visor. So I mean, I love that the BV kind of leans into it. It's a great look. Cashmere sweater, navy cashmere sweater, white polo, you know, khaki chinos. Just that could be your entire wardrobe, and like no one you could wear that anywhere in the world, to any club, anywhere, and that, like, don't overcomplicate it, guys. It's you don't have to have these crazy prints and weird, you know, brands to look good. It's like just stick with the classics.
Yeah. I think the one thing I get, like, I have the dome and the hair for a tour visor.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily always have the game for it. So, like, for example, I showed up to a bachelor party at the Greenbrier earlier this year in a full, like, kind of jokingly in a white outfit, like white FJ Premiers, a stone colored Holderness of Bourne pant, a white long sleeve Holderness of Bourne polo, white Upper East Side Golf branded tour visor, and an alligator belt, I kind of look like the biggest. Like my friends were all calling me the Tour Pro. They're like, where'd the Tour Pro come from? And I think I shot like an 84. So
I think that's respectable. No, 84 I think is okay. Because if you have the looks for it and you have like the whole fit look together and you shoot in the mid 80s, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
I think the other solution is to be hilarious, to be the class clown. And if you see like a guy that's 5'6" and he's like 215 with a tour visor, that guy's got 15 to 20 jokes in his arsenal that are just going to put you on the floor. Those guys are the best to play with. After like 1 or 2 holes that you might lose track of like what you're shooting because this guy's making you laugh so hard.
Absolutely. Well, I guess enough about apparel. So one thing I had seen you tweeted about earlier this week is you did that, that old school, is it the Norman Rockwell painting of the guy standing up in the crowd and voicing his opinion. And I think, what did you say? You said private clubs should remain private.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
The freedom of speech. Yeah. The Norman Rockwell.
So I think I understand the perspective. I wanted to kind of dig into that a little bit because I think there's more nuance to that take than maybe you were letting on when you posted that. And I actually think I have like a counter argument / devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, we should absolutely lean into this. So private, in that context, I was thinking about guest play and outings, especially at like the higher end clubs. I think that guest play needs to subsidize almost everything if you're going to allow it, and the club should just charge an obscene amount for guest play plus outings, because the demand is infinite for the high end clubs, and the supply is fixed and it's very small. So that was just kind of my take. I've heard lots of horror stories about clubs having to assess members for nonsense that probably could have been mitigated, subsidized from guest play. But I think that the culture in the US is very kind of anti-guest at a lot of the top clubs. Very different in the UK. I know you wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit as well, but that's kind of just where my head was, and just a random kind of thought that popped in there.
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting, I think it's fascinating. Like if you look at the top 100 list, golf.com's most recent one, and you look at particularly the US subsection of it, it does skew so heavily towards private, like elite private golf clubs. And, if you look at like I'll just pull it up. Top 100 golf courses. Like, I wonder if you looked at the top 100 golf courses that are, by golf.com today, how many you could get on in the top, call it 50 in the US via an outing versus how many you can get on in the top 50, abroad. And, Pine Valley, Cypress, Shinnecock, National, Oakmont, Augusta, Marion, LACC, Fishers, like those places do not allow outings. I mean, maybe I think I saw the Golfers Journal one do it Fishers, but I can't even remember. But like,
I think they do. I think those places do offer outings. And those were kind of,
but not one you could buy through like the Fried Egg or Golfers Journal.
That's true. That's true.
It's like an auction, right?
Yeah, you kind of have to be you have to be kind of like a outing savant to like figure out. And there are people that do it, right? There are people that like figure out how to game the system and get on those places.
Yes.
Which is, that's fine. I'm not going to if you're smart enough to figure that out, like good for you.
Well, relative. And to your point about price, relative to the European model, or, the European model, like I think it's just more common in Europe, is where it is at a price you can get on seemingly. I mean, I haven't done comprehensive due diligence on this perspective, but like, I think by and large, you can get on those places. Like they probably keep I would imagine their dues are lower and their initiation fees are probably lower at those places. I also, I think there's also the reality of like agronomy, et cetera. Like also not an expert in agronomy, but I would guess, educated guess, it's probably the maintenance fees and maintenance costs on a link style course, like in a true links course, are pretty different than that of a course that's on bent grass in the northeast of the US. Like I think it's just different soil and different upkeep. But that said, like those have great membership programs and are really elite clubs that have, rank really highly every year, but they do a lot for a certain amount of public play, whether that's guest play or like, paying a premium as a public during a certain period of time. I mean, even Tara Eady, if you're willing to make the trip, you can get on that course.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the UK thing is definitely like the culture is just different over there. I mean, my dad tells the story about how after college I think it might have been actually in the 90s, he went with his like college buddy, and they got a note. He had a note written by the head pro of his club, basically vouching for him, like a typed note, like signed by the pro, and he like took it overseas, and they drove around to these clubs and like showed the head pro the note. And basically like just like begged to get on, and they played like Borough County Down and like St. Andrews and Carnoustie and Muirfield, and they basically just like showed up to all these places, and they were like, oh yeah, come on and play, and then stay and have dinner and like get hammered with all the members. Like it's just so different over there. Like
it's welcoming.
Yeah, it is. That would never ever happen at any place in the US. So I just think it's an interesting cultural divide there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's but I sort of see some of that starting to change. Maybe like there's I was just listening to a podcast today about it, and now of course I'm forgetting about it. About a new course being put up in Aiken by, I think he runs the I think he runs the Bridge out in like where is it, Southampton, Secoponic area.
Yeah.
And this guy who runs it, Jeff Warren is his name, is building a club. It's called like Old Hardwell, I think is what it's called. In Aiken, right by the tree farm. That's going to be a private club, but it's going to allow a certain amount of non-member play.
Yeah.
At, I assume, a premium price.
Yeah.
So I sort of see, I mean, if you listen to any podcast about the game of golf and architecture and development, because there is so much money being put into the game, given how the rise in popularity and honestly like boomers and the amount of wealth they've built up over the past 40 years. Like there are so many options now. And there's so much money being put into it that like, people are going to be able to figure out how to, I don't know, like have their cake and eat it too. And I almost wonder if it's actually a more economically viable option for memberships if you do have this blended model, because I mean, I just can't even, being in the Northeast, and I'm sure anyone who's on this stream who lives in the Northeast has looked at dues initiation for some of these clubs. They're outrageous.
Yeah.
And just imagine a world, and that's a post-COVID thing, and that's partially supply and demand thing, but I don't know how much of that is actually linked to the cost of maintaining these clubs and courses. But if you're able to bring down the member costs by saying, hey, on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, when it's already just business golf being played, allow for some public play, allow for some outings, that sort of thing. Like, I don't know how that hurts anyone. It gives people the opportunity to see really special historic venues and clubs, et cetera, and maybe reduces the economic burden on the membership. So I don't know. I'm sure that's not a new take, but I think it's
I think the only thing that I would say to that is, okay, so if you're a dues paying member, you put up 6 figures to join a club, and then you play on a Tuesday morning for business, and the course is, and there was an outing on Monday, and the course is trashed.
Yeah.
And you're trying to close a deal on the course, and you end up fixing 3 or 4 ball marks on every green, divots aren't replaced, there's scuffs on the green from people that don't know how to walk properly on putting greens. At that point, it's like, that would, that's kind of my devil's advocate take.
That's valid.
Just to kind of play that game. But yeah, I think
does that happen, do you think?
Probably. I think it can, if no one's policing it and if they're not doing the right diligence with the outings. But I guess it's probably on the caddies as well to keep them moving. But just to play devil's. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, there's also like, I don't know, have you heard about these they have these other programs now where it's like, I can't, oh my God, what's it called? Where you like, you're not joining a club, you're putting up some sort of level of contribution each year, and you can get on certain clubs that opt in during specific tea times over the course of a year. It's called like Helios or something like that. I'd been recommended it a couple over the summer by someone. And it's kind of an interesting model where it's like, you're not actually a member of the club. You don't have access to the practice facility and all the trappings, et cetera, but you do have the ability to check out Eligo. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of an interesting model as well, where it's not, yes, it was by your father, Rev. I wasn't going to blow up for that. But that's also kind of an alternative model that doesn't necessarily, you're still going to be able to get on places, but not necessarily, it's not like you're having a stampede of sleepaholics going in and shooting 120 and then, dropping $5,000 in the pro shop.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I think places like Oakmont and Sleepy have just become like factories.
Is that true?
Factories. I think so. I think those places just churn outings because it's profitable for the it's the argument for it is it's incredibly profitable and important for the clubs. I think my argument is more so just it shouldn't impact member play. And if you end up having to assess members, it's probably a misallocation or of resources, or you didn't price the outings and guest play high enough.
So can you, for people who don't know what that is, can you explain what it is for members to get an assessment? Yeah.
So an assessment, from my understanding, is just when the club charges members for whether it be redoing the clubhouse, fixing the golf course, redoing the greens. It's a fee or a cost on top of the yearly dues that you'd pay as a club member. It would be an additional amount levied on the members.
So the argument there, the argument there is why join if I can play Tuesdays? The argument there is like, if you're going to allow these sorts of events and stuff, that should be sort of like, that cash should be used not to fund operations of the clubs itself. That should be, you should be able to run a club strictly on the dues and the pro shop, et cetera. But if you're allowing outings, that should be pooled to pay for extraneous stuff versus going in the members' pockets and having to ask them for that cash to do whatever.
I think in an ideal world at the top clubs that's a reality.
Yeah.
Or could be a reality. Not sure if it's ever in practice or not, but yeah.
Interesting. Well, anything else you want to touch on that, or should we move on to our?
Should we do the anti-ad read?
Yes. So
I think we should do the anti-ad, the first ever anti-ad read on the podcast. One of first time.
Yeah. So we're, as folks who consume a lot of golf media and are constantly being sold things online by various purveyors of apparel and services and technologies and equipment, we wanted to, kind of take an opportunity each episode we have here to kind of provide an ad read and highlight a really great, interesting part of the golf course business and golf business world. So I've got here in front of me a few words from our sponsor. I want to say thank you to them for supporting today's live stream. We've got the PE-backed Premium Golf Club Fitting Company. So as many of you know, I only recently got into the game of golf. And when I asked Google for where I should buy my first set of fitted clubs in NYC, the PE-backed Premium Golf Club Fitting Company's superior SEO turned me to their 42nd Street location. I had a great experience there hitting 6 irons into a sheet while my fitter checked his phone. And I may have emerged from that session $5,000 poorer, but my shafts were pured as can be and pure as can be. And I definitely could not have been fit into the same set of clubs or much cheaper clubs by Aaron McNair over a Zoom call. One of the things I really love about PE-backed Premium Golf Club Fitting Company is that it is private equity owned, which means that they really are on the leading edge of their pricing. It's completely unclear if their fitters are earning a commission or not. And I personally just love not knowing whether or not the guy I'm spending 2 hours with hitting dusty cymbals off a mat, being told about spin loft and frequency matching, whether or not they can afford their slot bowl lunch at lunchtime. And I guess two quick personal anecdotes. You know, they tend to request these things when they send their ad reads. The first time I went in there, the fitter noticed my very, very, very high club head speed and attempted to fit me into a Bryson shaft, those nice LA golf shafts that start around $450 a pop before puring. So actually really 500. It was so heavy, even for my 6'3", 215-pound Adonis frame, that I felt like I was swinging a barbell. So, you know, they were receptive to that feedback that it was too heavy and fitted me into a Ventus Blue 7X for a cool $350 instead, plus 50, so $400 with the puring. And during my most recent visit to have my iron shaved down and demo a 7-wood, I was quoted $950 for that 7-wood, which is no doubt a steal. And I guess my point is more broadly to call it the fact that private equity backed golf club fitting company, or PEG CFC, really offers the largest selection of obscure shafts that face the earth, and they've mastered the art of pricing. So thank you to them for their support, and looking to moving on to the next segment here on the types of cliques you encounter at golf clubs.
I actually wanted to say one thing. Appreciate the ad read.
Yes.
I wrote this down when you were reading that. Getting scammed by a club fitter is a rite of passage in the golf. It is 1,000%. It's a rite of passage. I can vividly remember the first time I was scammed getting fit for golf clubs. I was like 15 or 16, really into golf. Had made a few bucks over the summer. Maybe had like $800, $900 to my name. And I was down in Florida playing golf with family. And my brothers and I went to a strip mall, like Temu branded golf Galaxy, like shadiest of the shady places looking back. But we were just like 14. We had no idea what was going on. We're like, oh, we want to try out. And I think it was remember Rocket Balls? Do you remember those clubs?
That's before my time.
That was before your time. Okay. So they were these like ugly tailor-made white clubs, but it was like, they marketed the tech as like basically alien technology that would make you hit the ball like 5 miles. And they had so I had the Rocket Balls driver. I bought a Rocket Balls driver and I bought a Rocket Balls hybrid. 2 of the worst decisions of my life. The guy that he sold me the driver, and he was like, you want a different shaft in this driver. Like, you don't want the stock shaft. I don't have it in stock, but if you come back in 3 days, you can, like, I'll put the shaft in for you, but like, you got to pay me an extra $200. I was like, you know what? Yeah. Fine. Sounds good. So I buy the driver with the standard, like, stiff shaft or whatever, go back, play golf in Florida, hit the driver great, drove it like a champion. I was like, this is awesome. This club's so good. Like, it's going to fix everything. I'm going to shoot a million under par or whatever. I go back to the guy a few days later, and he's like, you know what, that shaft, it's not right for you. Here's another shaft. I'm going to put it in your driver, and it's even better. And he puts in like I swear, I promise you, this guy just like straight up took advantage of me. And this is what we don't want to happen to listeners. Like, do not, under any circumstances, go to the Temu brand Golf Galaxy in a Florida strip mall. And he puts in this like basically regular shaft, or regular flex women's like ugly graphite gray thing, and it sold it to me like it was gold that he found under the pyramids. And I couldn't hit the driver, lost it all, was hitting like snap hooks with it, spiraled out of control. So that's just a word to the wise there. Getting scammed it's a rite of passage.
It is, and it's interesting because I think actually that's I guess that's why there is such a little cottage industry for it, is because like if you're not at a club and you don't have demo days where you can go in and see the Titleist fitter or the TaylorMade fitter, whomever, you are kind of forced to either cobble together clubs or go pay a fortune for this whole setup. I mean, and I guess the thing is, like, the technology's gotten so quote unquote good that like if you're a high handicapper and you're hitting older blades or whatever it is, like it kind of does, like you do benefit from having fitted clubs, like that's for sure. But like what you don't need is someone trying to fit you into like graphite shafts or like these super stiff, like crazy Fujikura, driver shaft or whatever. Like I have a GT2 4-wood, the black 8X Ventus shaft in it. And I hit that like compare that to my dad's old Nicholas 3-wood from 2005, like 2009, maybe, I think it was literally 2005. And it's a much smaller face. It's a much, more flexible shaft, but I middle that thing so much more frequently than I middle my 4-wood nowadays. And like, I just sort of think it's, it is what it is. It's too bad, but I don't know. I feel like more and more you could benefit just from either finding someone like an Aaron McNair who's clearly like a whiz and, is just going to put you in the right set for you, or you just, no one's that goddamn good. Just go and get some set off eBay, some secondhand stuff, and figure out how to hit the center of the club face.
Yeah, if you're not like a good player, there's no point in trying to optimize your equipment.
Yeah.
Just you have to get to low single digits and then worry about the equipment.
Yeah.
Don't get scammed by big golf, by big equipment. All right, cool. What's up next?
So I know we wanted to chat through. You had posted this earlier on X, the Everything app. The types of Cliques at golf clubs. So I think I have like a broad familiarity from my high school days of these folks, but I'd love to hear the double down into this.
Yeah, I guess this was kind of an extension of my like specific guys you'll see at clubs. I was like, all right, well, what about the different groups and the cliques you'll find at these clubs? So we'll run through it quickly. The SS Old Money, prominent crew at many clubs, especially in the Northeast. The names of their grandparents are etched in gold on the championship boards. They wear primarily cotton and cashmere, and most, if not all, have served on the membership committee. Again, that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys floating around. The Old Guard, so that's the older generation of the SS Old Money. A ton of senior country club sticks in this group, usually the parents of the current SS Old Money crew. The Novo Rich, grew up middle class. These are like the tech billionaire kind of archetype guys that are sold their company for billions, caught the golf bug later in life, and just they wear black and they show up each spring with a new set of clubs. These guys, like, they'll buy whatever the newest equipment is. Every new like tailor-made driver or whatever, they get sold in all of it and they show up.
Yeah. The QI4, they'll get the special Scotty, somehow dig up the special Scotty QI4.
They get it the day of.
Yeah.
Auto delivered to their house. Pretty funny. But they're grinders. They play a ton of golf.
Are they good at golf or are they just grinders?
They get to be good because they're grinders. I would say that. I would say that they didn't start until they were in their 30s, but they just play a ton now.
I feel seen. minus the $1 billion outcome.
No, it's good. It's a good problem to have, the golf bug. The social climbers, nice enough, but you walk away from each conversation feeling like they want something from you.
What?
Don't
So
really know.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I honestly feel like you should just text me an example of this person, and I would know. You
kind of have to meet them to understand.
Okay.
It's like they use the I don't know. I'm not going to name names or anything. I just think that you meet people and you're like, this person wants something from me. And they're using their club access to like jump social circles or something.
Got it.
Young family guys, mid-30s, early 40s, always at the range with their kids and hoping they catch the bug. This was my dad at one point. He brought us to the range at every chance he got. Like, just please like this game so we can just do it together. Also found chasing the kids on the first fairway at dinner.
Love it.
Again, a lot of clubs chock full of these guys. The ex-athletes, these are kind of like, it's like high school, cool kids, tall, good looking, and rich. Many of them played lacrosse and or soccer in college and then use their athleticism to get into low single digits. the Trophy Wife Syndicate. Generally 55 and older. These are your typical snowbirds, second and third wives, full head of white hair, and they have a permanent tan, given their 8-month stint in Florida. Nice enough guys, but you take one look at them, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Second wife, third wife? Not sure.
Yeah, that guy has definitely done the math of divide by 2 and add 7 many times.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his net worth after his divorce.
No. It's that rule. It's like divide by 2 and add 7, and that's sort of what's in bounds from a
he'll make some
age gap.
He'll make a few like off-color jokes that aren't as funny as he thinks they are.
Little handsy to a server or something like that. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, has received multiple letters in his locker over the years.
Yeah, love it.
That's funny. And then the guest guys. So the guys that use the club as their own personal boardroom, typically sell insurance. They're in wealth management. They spend a ton on guest fees, and they move serious size on the golf course. So yeah, those are kind of
I love it.
A few clicks that I'm sure you can go a few. I think other people tweeted me different ones. I didn't read them all, but
I know the legacy members. That feels like that falls in the SS Old Money crowd.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's 100% SS Old Money.
I wonder, what about the guys who don't play golf? Like, what about the guys who are quote unquote social members? Because I always remember, I remember hearing from my father on the patio that he doesn't even play golf. I don't know why he's here.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't experienced that. Interesting. Guys that break the rules.
They're join the club just because they want to say they're a member of the club, but they don't actually play golf.
I think that's on the membership committee for letting them in.
Yeah. What happens? It happens.
It does happen. I think you might be I think the golf clubs should strive to admit members that check all the criteria, but are also good players too.
Yeah.
Because I think being a good player, there's a direct correlation with being a good player and respecting the game.
Yeah.
Because you've had to have been around the game for a long time to get really good at it.
Yeah.
So I think that there's definitely an element of the club's not solving for that. Interesting.
What about the guys who played golf in college? I feel like that's got to be its own little sub community in the.
I think that's probably fair. Yeah. I didn't list. I think the I guess they technically fall under ex athletes, but golf's not really. I mean, it's a college sport, but you're not playing lacrosse or soccer. So
I've been saying this to myself for I guess a little over a year now. Is the goal is all my children play golf at Princeton. That's the goal. If they all play golf at Princeton, I've done something right, because I've succeeded in getting them to the point where they're a lot smarter than me, where they go to Princeton. 1, 2, they can afford Princeton, because I don't think you get golf scholarships at Princeton. And 3, they love to play golf and are good enough to play Princeton.
Yeah, I mean, Princeton's good. They're one of the better Ivy schools. Knew a few guys that played there.
What's it called? No real, it's not a school that relies on post grad stuff, so they actually care about their undergrads.
Princeton?
That's what I remember. I remember that all their because if you look at Harvard and Penn and
I believe it.
Yale,
yeah,
to a degree, they care a lot more about their post grad students than they do their undergrad.
Interesting.
At least I remember that from the high school admissions process. Not that I ever had a no man's chance in hell of getting into an Ivy school.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, but good, sneaky good college golf course there.
Really?
Yeah, I played the U.S. Junior Amateur Qualifier there a long time ago. Really, really fun, really solid college track.
I feel like Jersey
right in your backyard.
I feel like Jersey golf is just so absurdly good.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's almost underrated.
I think it is underrated. People
talk about Michigan or
yep,
North Carolina, southern golf. It's no, guys. The Northeast, New Jersey golf is, if you really want to run through the list of golf courses in Jersey, maybe that's next episode.
I like that a lot.
We'll rank the states once and for all, final ranking.
But honestly, let's do a state ranking that doesn't include New York, Pennsylvania, and California.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like, oh yeah, duh. Like Long Island's got great golf. Like
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? Or I mean, or we could just do those three and
Or we can just tier the states.
yeah, like the S tiers and all that stuff.
S tier.
Yeah.
I don't even think California is S tier.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a hot take.
I think there's a couple really good ones at the top, and then
a lot of shit. You really think so?
I don't know if they have the depth. I don't know if their roster depth is. I don't know if they're deep enough.
Interesting. We'll have to deep dive into
I'm gonna have to deep dive on that for sure. But that's kind of my initial take there. But yeah. Cool.
Jersey golf is all world per rev.
Yeah, it is. It is
Jersey, man.
I mean, spoken like a man from Jersey.
It is. Hollywood is epic, I will say. But
it is. Yeah, it's a great golf course. All right, should we close it up? Talk about Pluribus.
Yes. So, have you seen it, by the way?
I have.
It's pretty good. I like it.
It's kind of a mind. It's kind of like it plays tricks with your mind. It makes you think about things that you wouldn't normally think about when you watch television, which I like.
I don't know what it's about. Like, you always feel like so much media that we're fed nowadays, particularly from like the Hollywood side of the world, is like so like hit you over the head with whatever like societal political point they're trying to make. It's like that movie Civil War that came out last year. It's like, oh wow, like it's really tense in America. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know, but this is one where I'm like, I actually can't really crack this nut. I don't really know what's going on. I will say, so like, just if you don't know, if you don't watch the show, I'll just give the high level. Essentially, there's like semi-alien invasion, and there's like 15 people in the world and essentially the alien invasion turns almost every person alive into part of this massive like hive mind and there's like 15 people left in the world who aren't a part of the hive mind, who still have like free will and, individual consciousness. And the hive mind people, so whatever the, N billion, 9 billion folks in the world minus 15 are kind of waiting at the beck and call of the 15 people who still have consciousness and freedom of thought and etc. And so like, essentially, if you're one of these 15 people, you could do whatever you wanted to, like whatever you want. You'd be pretty much alone, and all of your friends and loved ones would be kind of like part of this hive mind, which would be devastating. But you would have the ability to do whatever the fuck you wanted to, whenever you wanted to. So in light of that, I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, okay, like, after I got over the fact that like everyone I knew and loved was part of this like hive mind and or dead, like what would I want to do if I was in this position of being in Pluribus? So I kind of scoped out what my week would look like if I was in Pluribus. So I'll just read you off what the week would look like. So on Monday, I'd wake up at Augusta National Golf Club. I would hit the practice facility, which is famously not available to actual members. It's only available to the actual competitors in the tournament, leading up to the Masters. Then after I had lunch there at the club, I'd play a team with the hive mind versions of Tiger and Rory. I think I'd probably win that one up over both of them. Just giving them handicaps like as their hive mind, take instructions. Tuesday, I'd shoot on up to Philly, play Marion East early, make sure there's not people dining on the patio. Then go scope out one of the other local great clubs with Gulf Mills, around Mink or Cobbs Creek, which hopefully, in this scenario is completed.
You just tell the aliens to go finish it.
Exactly. That's actually a good point. Go finish it. I get Gil Hands, hive mind Gil Hands over there with a shovel. Yes. Yeah, he's shaping it himself. I want you to shape this yourself.
Yeah, no, I literally want you to be Gil Hands in real life.
It's Gil Hands, and not using it. He calls his shapers like mole men or something.
No, that's probably first order of business is go finish Cobbs Creek, and then I'll meet you there in like a week.
Exactly.
Get all 9 billion people to go finish it, so it's done.
Perfect. No, on Wednesday it's my off day. I'd take the opportunity. I'd do the society some good in case everyone came back. I'd burn all big letter hats.
I like that.
Thursday, play 36 at Pine Valley. I'd just load up my truck with or the truck of the hive mind people with pro shop goodies, and make myself a member tag and give myself a locker just so, I can die knowing I was a member of Pine Valley. Friday, make my way over to Nebraska, play the Lido in the morning, followed by Cap Rock, which recently launched to the top 100 in the world. And after playing those two beautiful Nebraska courses, modern Nebraska courses, I would watch it, put on an evening cage match between Hive Mind Tom Doak and Hive Mind Gil Hands, with Cornell 77 playing in the background. For those of you who don't know, Gil Hands is a big deadhead. Saturday, first group out of Pebble. Typically, if you're not playing it early there, it's going to take you 6 hours plus, and then hit Cypress in the afternoon to take in the sunset. And then, get ready on Sunday, gas up Air Force One for the long trip to the Melbourne Sandbelt, where I do, start the next week by playing all those legendary courses in down under, as they say.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I think we should clarify that. I think that's pretty. We should qualify that we have access to Air Force One, and you can put put whatever you want in there. I'd put golf simulator, etc., etc.
The question is, does Trumpelstiltskin, does he have a simulator in there already? So you might not even have to put one in.
Yeah, that's fair. Embrace the bait.
Do you think he'd have a Foresight or a TrackMan in there? I kind of see him as a Foresight guy. He's a little bit of.
I have no idea what the difference between those two are. But
oh, come on.
Yeah, I don't play enough sim golf.
I play a lot of sim golf.
Yeah, I don't. I would start West Coast. I would go LA Country Club, Bel Air.
Okay.
Followed by Pebble, Cypress, Spy. I think you could probably play 54 in a day. I would take.
It's a good point.
You take a cart.
I think you take a cart for like a Spyglass.
Yeah.
Or you walk a Pebble.
I would tell them to make it go 50 miles an hour. And
yes, that's true.
You could play 18 holes in 45 minutes. Even at Pebble, take a cart. You could play. Then I would go. Yeah. Then I'd probably go down Florida, play Seminole.
Yep.
Go up. I'd go play Oakmont, Wingfoot, Fox Chapel, Baltusrol, Marion, PV. Then I'd go up to play Myopia Hunt, maybe.
Ooh.
On the bucket list up in the quirky old school course. And then honestly, I'd go overseas and I'd go play the Open Rota until I got bored of it, because I've never played any of those courses except for the old course.
You could do the Tom Coyne thing where you could just walk all around Ireland.
Yeah. I'd also play the old course in reverse.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah. I saw there was some raffle to go do that. I need to get on that.
Now, do you like the idea of playing against legends of the game and kicking their asses by?
No, I'll just play solo. It's just
okay.
Weird.
What if you got them to say hey, I want you to act like yourself, and you're like Tiger, go into yourself mode and hang out with me.
Go into prime Tiger mode. He's not gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Stephen Ames me 9 and 7. Yeah, I think he knows now. No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, that would be honestly a wild experience, at least for one of the 18 holes. Just go up against Prime Tiger, Alien Tiger.
Just pants.
Yeah. I mean, is it Tiger with his full leg or half leg?
I think it's. I mean, he does have the physical limitations that he currently has, but yeah. I think it's probably his tolerance. Well, honestly, having the full force and this is kind of dark, but with the full force and brain power of the whole world, you might be able to figure out a good solution for him. I don't know what kind of alien technology they have.
Bionic leg and
exactly
back.
Yeah.
Fix him up good and yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good hypothetical.
I like it a lot.
If you had a week, how much golf could you play? Because I think the answer is a lot, because you'd have a golf cart.
Well, and if you had the staff to okay, I want a full massage, optimize me for being able to bounce back and play well tomorrow.
I think, yeah, you do that in Air Force One.
Yes, exactly.
Between when you're flying. But I think you have a golf cart, you're not walking and carrying. Yeah. That's the one thing I would say.
You might have Bones caddying for you. I like the idea. You got Bones carrying your bag for you.
Oh, and get Roger Maltby on the mic, whispering sweet nothings into the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's got the lie doesn't look great, Gary.
Make Colt
Gary
down. Oh my God, Jim Nance just following you. Doing full.
You're right. That's a huge miss.
Can you imagine?
I think I would put Jim Nance on the 7th tee at Pebble until I made a hole in one. I think I I think I would just put him there and be like, all right, give me like 500 golf balls and I'll just stand here. And then hopefully you have to figure out the divot situation.
Have you had a hole-in-one?
No. Sore subject. You have to figure out the divot situation on the grass on that tee box, but I think I'd stand there for days.
Well, the thing is you'd have perfect conditions no matter where you played, because you just send like 200 people out in the course every day and say you are the, take all the collective experience of every single agronomist and greenskeeper on the face of the earth and just make this absolutely immaculate.
Yeah, but also the weather on Pebble. I don't know if they can like control the weather. So the weather out there you can get some bad days. I played Pebble twice. In both days, it was 50 degrees and raining sideways.
Really? What time of year was it?
Yeah. We went after Christmas. So we went like around now. And it was just
That's what I'm thinking about going. That's what I'm thinking about going.
We get there and they're like, yeah, there's just like this massive storm off the coast of Monterey that just like won't move. It rained for like a week straight. It was unbelievable.
I love it. Well, yeah, I might still give it a shot. We'll see.
It's a place you have to go. It's so special.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're coming up on an hour here. Should we dip into the mailbag quickly?
Let's do 10 minutes. 10 minutes mailbag.
Cool. And also, if people want to add, if people are listening, we kind of been hovering around 16 to 20 people all day, all night. But if folks want to add questions that we can answer in real time in the comment thread, like please feel free to do so.
Yep.
I'll just start with one. This is kind of more I don't know if it's not necessarily a question for today, but something that someone flagged. Doug Thompson reached out to me on X. His actual handle is a little bit inappropriate, so I'm not going to say it. I'll just say it's like Jack Mehoff with an H, 789 or something like that. But he said, I'll be tuning in tomorrow's show. More of a conversation topic than a question. We'd love to hear you guys dive into logistics of joining a club, what goes into it, depending on the type of club, how to choose a club, its sponsors, etc. So I think this like a little bit ties to what I was saying at the top. And I actually know Doug a little bit. He's a young guy, good dude. And he and I have talked about it a lot. He's been a caddy in the past, and he's a younger dude. He's in early 20s. I'm 31 for reference. And I think, as I mentioned at the top, this is something I'm figuring out in real time as well. So, I'm not going to speak with any specifics about this stuff. I think once I actually get through it all, I think I'd be happy to talk about it more directly. Maybe that's something we can talk about when that happens, fingers crossed. But I know this is something we've talked about, BTG chatting about. I think it's an interesting topic because I think maybe for someone who don't have the private club background growing up, but you want to explore that as they get older, is something I think it's worthwhile information to share.
Yeah, I think I think it almost deserves more time than we have time to give it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great full show topic almost. There's just so many things that can possibly go into it. And it's a very difficult, nuance thing that it's kind of like a nebulous, there's no right or wrong way to do it, but there are some things you probably should do, probably some things you shouldn't do. So I think that's probably just feeder for next week's or a future episode.
Love it.
But it is something that's pressing, and it's something that we definitely want to get into because I know a lot of people here are in a similar situation. Freddie Doubles, by the way, follow Freddie Doubles on Twitter if you don't. Hilarious guy. I just saw him today hit a 1-iron off his kitchen rug into what appeared to be a window. He's a great follow on Twitter. He sent it to me. He said, or he tweeted it out and then he sent it to me. He said, where I grew up playing, everyone called the mark your ball leaves on a green a divot. People from the north always look at me like I have two heads when I say it, though. I'm wondering if this is specific to North Texas or has anyone else heard that terminology used? That's the North Texas thing.
Yeah, I've always thought it was pitch mark or ball mark.
It's a pitch mark or a ball mark. Yeah. It's not a divot. A divot is what you take in the fairway. That's pretty funny, though, that it's that localized to specifically North Texas.
Well, I've heard that too before and been confused by it. And honestly, I go back and forth between ball mark and pitch mark.
Yeah, interchangeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, Rev. I guess he's a Texas boy. He
Ball
calls it
marker,
ball marker
divot. No, it's not a divot.
You're
A divot's in
wrong.
the
You're
fairway.
wrong.
Divot's what you take with
Wrong.
an iron.
Wrong.
Incorrect. But I've had another guy. I don't have the exact DM in front of me, but he was asking me about like what putter he should use. And I get people asking me like, "Oh, what should I use? This? Should I use that?" Like, it's all about like feel, guys. Like, I can't answer your questions. Putters are one thing that it's a very personal. It's a very personal choice. Like, your putter it's a part of you, and everyone's strokes a little bit different. Everyone sees the ball a little bit differently. Everyone has different preferences of what the top line should look like. There's no right or wrong. I mean, Scotty Cameron makes a great putter, but there are also a lot of other boutique putter makers that are out there. So I would just be very like, don't ask a random stranger on the internet about your putter. Like, go and hit a bunch of different putters, take them out to the course, try them out, see how they feel in your hands.
Yeah, I kind of feel. I mean, listen, you know a lot more about this game than I do. Like, I am not very good and new to the game, whatever. But I sort of feel like there's a little bit of like almost like a badge of honor to being like, just finding a putter, like picking a putter and just making it work to a degree. You know what I mean? Like, I've got like a Odyssey White Hot I bought. And I was like, I'm just going to spend like $120 in a putter. Fuck it. Like, I went on Amazon, bought this putter, put a grip on it. And, I can putt really well with it. And it's like, I wasn't fit into it at all, but it works. It's just a putter. Like, I don't know. I sort of feel like sometimes people get so overly optimized on this stuff, and particularly with a putter where it's like, it's really, I feel like it's just all about practice.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's all about it's all confidence. Like, putting is really a confidence game. Yeah. If you think you're going to make putts, you're going to make more putts than if you think you're not going to make putts. Yeah. Yes, there's a little bit of mechanics that go into it, but mindset on the greens it's pivotal. Yeah, it's all about your confidence.
Well, one question. So I told you about this before we jumped on. I had dinner with a buddy of mine on Friday, and I'm best man at his wedding. He's best man at mine. And he was like, "By the way, I need your measurements for a putter." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, he's getting me a Scotty as his best man gift, which is pretty awesome. I have no idea how to figure that part out, because I just want like a Newport too. Like, just give me whatever tire you use. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll make it work. I'm so excited to have a Scotty, but like, I have no idea how length the putter. Like, do I have to go get fit for the right length of putter?
Yeah, you're tall, right? How tall are you?
Yeah, 6'3".
Yeah, you're probably like 30. It's probably 35.
Okay.
But like, yeah, you should go. I would just go somewhere and test a few different ones out.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you have long arms, short arms. It's a whole thing.
I got long legs, short arms.
Okay, the T-Rex build.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my brother's built like that too.
Really?
He's got a long putter.
There you go.
He's got short arms, so it's all about hate a build.
Fuck you. Well, actually, to that point, and you mentioned, you called out like those crappy, strip mall places where to get fit. Just to shout out kind of a small local golf business, two of them actually. There's in New York City, there's a place called New York Golf Center, and that's just like a classic sporting goods store that's specialized for golf equipment in the city. They have fitting bays. You can go and try out different. It's not like the same. They're not going to dial you into your numbers the same way you probably would at like a Club Champion or whatever Golf Tech. But I went there, and after having cracked a driver face and demoed I played TSR2, and I tried out TSR2 and I tried a GT2, and I think like the GT2 was like another $200, and it spun like slightly less and went like 5 yards longer, and the guy was like, "Dude, just buy the TSR2. It's cheaper and does the same thing." I'm like, "Hey, There you go."
Yep, that's what you want.
Totally. And so shout out to them. And then also there's a place actually on the Upper East Side, and there's a couple of folks who live in the Upper East Side. It's called like Upper East Side Golf something. And there's a guy, YorkvilleGolf.com. He repairs clubs and does some like custom stuff, and will grip your clubs for $5. So check them out too.
Good to know. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. The inaugural episode is in the books. DM us with any things you want to hear talked about,
Yeah.
suggestions, comments, questions, hate
Totally.
mail. I always love a good hate mail.
Yes.
So let it rip, and we'll see you guys. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone.